Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, and this is a special one. I have done the analysis with the team to look at all of the proxies that are out there, treasuries, proxies. Anybody who knows, since 2020, proxies have made people a lot of money. But will they continue doing so? And how do you value them? Which are the good ones? Which are the bad ones? Which are the hyped ones? Which are the steady ones? We're going to get into that. We're going to look at NAV premiums across all the Bitcoin treasuries, the future of Bitcoin treasuries, all the ETH treasuries and their future and their valuation, all of the Sol treasuries as well. It's a lot of numbers, but it's worth it. And I want to thank the mods in the chat: Rusted Woods, Anglo Blackson, Sean D, K8, T&D Tesla. You guys rock. Let's get into this. This is, again, nobody does this work. Nobody knows what they're investing in. But if you do this work, you will know exactly does it make sense or not to invest in certain assets. And of course, not financial advice. And shout out to iRock, who's been there for a long time. Patreon is the best. And shout out to everybody at Patreon too. Thank you. First of all, this is covering the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana proxies. Proxies are popping up. I didn't do hype yet because the companies that do hype proxies are garbage so far. They are literally zombie companies going for a last gasp of air. So I didn't include them in this, but I will in the future, because now we have the model, we have the developers supporting the model, and we track everything. But first, I want to talk about where we are. This proxy revolution is insane. My third ever video is about MicroStrategy. I can say with certainty I was the first person ever to talk about a proxy, and a very sophisticated trade in that proxy too. But this is crazy. Literally, there are nearly 100, Bitcoin proxies, just Bitcoin proxies, and they own nearly 1 million Bitcoin, 921,000 to be precise. Do Travels, thank you for coming. The question is, when you look at this list, what do you buy, if anything? Do any of them make sense? Or any of them undervalued? And that is the goal of this, or any overvalued. So let's get into it. Now, there's a couple of funky things happening today, and it's not by chance I'm making this video today, because MicroStrategy Board all bought shares. What the hell are they doing? Normally, insiders typically sell. The whole gamut of the board of MicroStrategy are buying MicroStrategy. That makes me suspicious. When I see everybody selling, it's a red flag. When I see everybody buying, it's a green flag. Green flag means, well, if they're buying, should we be buying too? Let's see. And MicroStrategy, by the way, the price on that puppy, as we speak, is up $13, up 3.2%. Now, the price, I forgot to mention, the price is exactly $407.40. Now, let's get into other crazy stuff. Michael Saylor tweeted today, we follow each other on X. He said, this will be the most important event in the history of strategy, MicroStrategy. Remember, MicroStrategy has been around for 25 years. If you are interested in Bitcoin or MicroStrategy, you should join. Saylor claims, again, the most crucial earnings call ever. I will be tuning in. I hope you will too. Now, here we go. We're jumping into the Mad Math time. This is a play on Mad Max. Again, Ethereum is in there somewhere, and so is Bitcoin's also. Excuse the imagery, but for those of you who are old enough to remember the original Mad Max movie, this is Mad Math. Let's go. First of all, this is absolutely bonkers. 22 companies. I don't know why my little emoji didn't show up. And shout out to HODL15 as well. 22 companies bought 52,019 Bitcoin this week. I'll repeat that. 22 companies bought 52,019 Bitcoin this week. Remember, only 450 are issued per day. Trump Media bought a big bag too, $2 billion worth. And what's crazy is, the top 100 HODL, has nearly 1 million Bitcoin. MicroStrategy alone is buying 2 times the new supply. IBIT, just BlackRock ETF, is buying 3.3 times the new supply. And the other treasury companies combined are buying 1 times the new supply. Add those together, 6.3 times the new supply is just being purchased by these 100 players, give or take. It's absolutely insane. Way, way more than my highest expectations. And you remember watching me last year saying, guess what? Treasuries are it. Treasuries are it. Treasuries are the story of this Bitcoin bull run. And here we are. But other treasuries were not on my bingo card either. We'll get into those in a second. Now, it's even more wild, okay, if it couldn't get even nuttier. We have all of these companies, and these are the planned buys for all of these companies. Planned buys, okay? Absolutely insane. You've got firms on there. Well, I put it together a little chart to make it more visual. That's all the noise if you want to hit pause and look at all the companies that have these planned buys. But there's big ones coming. We're talking multi-billion-dollar shops. We're talking companies that have MicroStrategy in their sights. They want to accumulate over 130,000 Bitcoin starting from nothing. Remember, there's only ever going to be 15 million Bitcoin. And these guys are clamoring all over it real fast. And have already stacked, 100 companies have already stacked nearly 1 million Bitcoin. That's 1/15 of the existing supply. And it's going to get harder and harder to do. A visual of what this looks like. Let me turn my camera off so you can see the chart, not me. You can see the big plan buys. MicroStrategy, big one, top left. Metaplanet, SMLT, Donald J. Trump Media, GameStop, etc. All in all. Now, I know some of them look kind of small in terms of buys, like a little blip there for GameStop just to buy 33,000 Bitcoin. But that's a lot of Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. You got other players too. Trump Media have big plans across the board. All of these planned Bitcoin buys add up to, guess what? 1.5 million Bitcoin on top of the 1 million Bitcoin they've already planned. And that is only the list that I have access to. There's a whole bunch more plans I am not aware of. Insane. 1.5 million Bitcoin. But let's talk about what happens when so-called treasury companies don't hold the Bitcoin that they make. This is a really cool little analysis to talk about miners. People want to hear more about the miners. Here we go. And in full disclosure, I still I'm clinging on to my miner positions. They were very kind in 2023 and 2024. But so far in 2025, with the exception of Marathon, that's been kind of like dead money, but great for covered calls. But I do hold Marathon, I do hold CleanSpark, I do hold Riot, and I do hold a little bit of Iron. I did sell half my Iron. Now, this is part of the reason why, because I think with the price of Bitcoin increasing, HODL is important. And in Q2, Marathon held 100% of the Bitcoin they mined, and they're buying another $1 billion worth. CleanSpark and Riot did sell a portion, and Iron always sells 100% of what they mine. So if you look at the math of this, the outcome with Bitcoin up there at 118,500, Marathon's up $49 million from their HODL. CleanSpark is down $11 million from the stuff that they sold. If they had held, they'd be up. They wouldn't have lost that. Riot is down 27 million, and Iris is down 37 million. So basically, in an up market where Bitcoin appreciates in value, the miners can make a lot of money if they can hold on. I repeat, the delta, the gains on the bag of holding for Marathon, $49 million. The gains on the bag from holding Q2 Bitcoin for Iris is nothing, but their opportunity cost of selling it was $38 million. Riot, $28 million. CleanSpark, $26 million. And the net gain, $49 million, again, for Marathon, minus $11 million for CleanSpark. Let me see if I can zoom into that number for the last one. Minus $27 million for Riot and minus $37 million for our friends at Iron. Again, HODL works. Now, in a bear market, HODL doesn't work. But the question is, will we get a bear market? Well, I tell you, if this list here of buys, $1.5 million of buys comes to fruition, there will be no freaking bear market. Mark my words, everybody. Mark my words. Bear market is dead if these plans come to fruition. I hope people are clear of that. That's not me saying there is no bear, or there will be no bear market. No. There will be no bear market if these players buy 1.5 million Bitcoin. That's it. Simple. And that's the power of HODL. Now, the other thing that just came on the radar, and by the way, I've never done this before, but now that we have the technology, We could do these as a monthly update for treasuries. Let me know in the comment below if you're interested. And shout out to American Beijing. Hey there. But these are some of the new ETH Treasuries. Top 3. BitMine. This is Tom Lee's shop, and he's been pumping the hell out of Ethereum. They own 566,000 ETH, worth over 2 billion. SharpLink Gaming own 361,000 ETH, worth 1.35 billion. SharpLink Gaming, never heard of them. But anyway, I think it's a gambling site, not sure. The third biggest holder of Ethereum is the Ethereum Foundation. So BitMine now owns double what the foundation owns. But there is a little bit of bad news regarding the Ethereum Foundation because they are selling ETH like they've never sold before. Okay, they are dumping a lot of their ETH. Nobody is really quite sure why. Of course, they have to pay salaries, but I think Martoon was saying, is this what belief looks like? In the past few months, the Ethereum Foundation has dumped 26,000 ETH, over $100 million worth. Follow actions, not words. So Martoon is interested in this and tracks this. But again, they've been selling into the rally. So that's kind of a little bit nerve-wracking. Anyhow, this is another key chart as well we're going to dig into. Now, everybody asks me all the time, what is NAV premium? What is NAV premium? Explain to me like I'm 12. So I'm going to do that. So imagine a piggy bank toy has $10 in it. Your child has a little porcelain piggy bank, has $10 in it. But someone wants to buy that piggy bank for $14. The premium is $4. They're getting $10 cash, but they're paying $14. So they're paying over the odds for that $10 in the piggy bank. But this is when the NAV premium is 1.4 or 140%, because that 40% is the premium. The extra $4 is because the investors think the piggy bank is super special or has a nice wrapper or might be worth more later. For example, share accretion, you get more sats per share, 8.6x times more satoshis per share. If you bought a MicroStrategy share in August 2020 to today, 8.6 more satoshis. And companies like MetaPlanet are ramping very fast. So again, if you get in early, hold the shares, you get more satoshis per share. That is the reason people are paying a premium for these proxies. Other reasons, of course, include, for example, our friends in the UK. They don't have access to IBIT, or it's very difficult to buy spot Bitcoin. So they have to buy proxies like MicroStrategy. And shout out to all the Brits that bought MicroStrategy following this channel from the very beginning. They did very well. Anyway, let's get into more math. This is the Bitcoin proxies sorted by NAV premium, ladies and gentlemen, all from a model. And I do want to say something. There's a few little nuanced things here. First of all, this is a live model. It brings in real-time data. And of course, prices fluctuate. So we have Bitcoin shooting up, $300 since I did this. MicroStrategy is pumping a little bit. Again, up $3 since I started talking. So again, this is a static image of an hour ago. Now, a couple of other things I want to call out here, so people understand. You'll immediately see CEP. It's trading at a NAV premium of 0.03. Huh, weird. Well, that's a special situation. That's a SPAC, which is going to roll into an IPO for CEP21 coming soon. And the people that own the CEP, whoops, there's a funky thing happening with the ranking here. Crap. CEP is not listed. And it's confused. Ignore this one for now. There's a problem with the calculation on this one. Again, real-time data feeds get confused. But we're going to go to the Sol proxies, and then at the very end, I do have all the actual proxies here. Let me just check this one real quick. Live TV, always a pain. Crap. All right, I can fix this. I can pull up the live model. Bear with me 1 second. Let me get into the other ones first. Go through this. I want to share a couple of things before we get into this, and I'm going to pull up the actual live spreadsheet, which should be correct. But here, this is the Sol proxy sorted, and these are correct. UPXI is trading at 0.724 NAV premium, which means it's trading at a 27% discount to its Solana bag. DeFi Development Corporation 1.532. So you pay a 53% premium on the piggy bank. And CYFRF Sol Strategy pay at 2.16 premium. So if you're buying $10 worth of gear, you're spending $21.60. Easy way to think about that. The UPEXI model is bewildering as well. I have no idea why it's selling. They have 1.9 million Solana, and their NAV premium is minus 27.77%. There's lots of weird stuff going on with this company. I'm not quite sure why, but we'll see. We'll get to the bottom of it. But a 28% discount over their bags. DeFi Dev is a 47% premium over their bags. And Sol Strategies is 115% premium over their bags. Now, ETH Proxies is where it gets interesting. Bitminer is trading at 1.86 the value of their ETH bags. That's an 86% premium. And SBet, which is that sports bet or SharpLink Gaming, is 61% over premium over their bags. And I'm not sure why Tom Lee's shop is more expensive, maybe because SharpLink is not as well known. Now, let me try pull up this model. We're going to go to the HODL model live, and I'm going to show you the score of all the NAV premiums from beginning to end. Yes, it's working. Hold on a second. And link. Alrighty, let me just pop this up. Hold on, bear with me. Alrighty. And we go view full screen. Alrighty. Bugger. Dismiss. This is so strange. Done. Hold on. Crap. There is a technical glitch with the MicroStrategy market cap. I don't know why that is, but I can fix it real quick. Hold on a second. Yeah. One of the yellow, when it's throwing a yellow, it means the model is throwing an error on the market cap, but the market cap of MicroStrategy is 123 billion, and there it should work. Hold on a sec. 123 billion. I'm just overriding it till we get to where we are. Okay. All right. Now I can share the. Sorry about this, everybody. Live TV, always fun. Window. Boom. Here we go. Ta-da. Is that clear? I hope everybody can see, and I'll try zoom in a little bit. But basically, I'll scroll through this HODL model. When we rank, I'm not going to rank them because I have to manually overlay, but you can see here that MicroStrategy, I'll zoom in a little bit, is trading at 1.65 NAV premium. That was down to 1.52 yesterday, but now it's rallying again, probably in anticipation of the earnings call. And the rest are ranked high to low. I'm not going to sort them because there's a problem with that market cap for MicroStrategy. Let me just make sure it's, well, it doesn't really matter if it's completely correct or not because directionally it's 1.6, 1.65, 1.7, thereabouts. UPEXI is the cheapest proxy out there today at 0.69. I have no idea why it's at a 31% discount. UPEXI is trading at 4.62. They own 1.9 million SOL. Semler also trading at a discount, 8% off their Bitcoin bag. Semler. Marathon, 1.02. Marathon has been trading at break even for quite some time this year. They have tons of assets, tons of energy generation that I'm sure AI data warehouses, data centers would love to have. And they got a massive bag of Bitcoin, and they're buying another billion, and they're still trading at zero premium. It's bonkers. Fold, 1.11, just 11% premium. DeFi Dev, 47% premium. That's a Sol proxy. SBet, 1.6. You can see that the Sol proxies and even the ETH proxies are cheaper than many of the Bitcoin proxies. Bitminer, 1.8. Hut, 1.86. Canaan 1.99, Riot 2.15, CleanSpark 2.16, CYFRF 2.16. They're matching. But of course, CleanSpark is a miner too, and CYFRF does a lot of a validator type work too. DJT 2.26, that's Donald J. Trump Media, run by I think his sons, I'm not sure. Metaplanet 2.58, Galaxy 7.32. Galaxy also, you see the way the model just changed there as the prices change, 7.31 now. Galaxy also have bags of Sol, and they do a lot of OTC work, etc. And they just sold 80,000 Bitcoin. Anyway, BTBT 9.55, etc. And down the list, you got Tesla there too, 720.45, and Coinbase 89, because their market caps are very big and their HODL bag is very small in relation to their market caps. So basically, that is the ranking of all of the different plays out there, all real-time data. Sorry about MicroStrategy not uploading. Very bizarre little bug, but you can see the rest of the data is correct. So again, these things are all over the place. I have no idea why there is such discrepancy between these different NAV premiums for these different assets. But either way, we'll continue to monitor this. Let me know as well if you are interested in seeing more frequent updates on these different proxies, because they are a big part of how we can make some alpha in the actual market. Okay, so I'm going to remove this and go back to the deck and finish, of course, with meme du jour. We print money out of thin air. It's a funny little thing happening in the world today. People are beginning to understand what the Federal Reserve is and what the European Central Bank is and everything else. And now people are copping on to the fact that, these people just pull money out of thin air and print it by pressing a button. And they lend it to you with interest, then tax you for using it. And then you spend your life trying to keep up. With Bitcoin, it's different. So shout out to Carl Menger, who put this great little thing together. And I want to wish you all a good day. This is actually included in the Bitcoin only proxy list because it's about proxies, and proxies are expanding way beyond Bitcoin. So let me know if you like this type of video. A lot of work goes into these things and you won't find it anywhere else. So subscribe if you like this alpha. Big thank you to the mods in the chat and everybody here. K8, Sean D, Tony, Kalsu, BD McGee, Dude Travels, Anglebacks, and Rusted Woods, TND Tesla, K8, American Beijing. Thank you all. Have a good day.